young and while I'm able, all I want to do is...
And we are back. It's the Info Warrior with Jason Bermas, and we are joined by accomplished lecturer, researcher, and author Texe Mars. You know, I got to tell you, Codex Magica and Mysterious Monuments, both available at Infowars.com, are the actual books that are in my bathroom that, you know, I try to get guests to check out. And it's just a pleasure to have you on, Texe.
Hey, Jason, great to be with you, and congratulations on your new show. Of course, I'm sure most of your audience knows exactly who you are. Your terrific video, the best out there on 9/11, really revealing the truth. But it's great to be with you.
Well, thank you so much. And I really just wanted to go over these books because earlier in the week we had Mark Dice. We touched upon Bohemian Grove and not only occult philosophy but Luciferianism. And last night we had the America's Secret Beginnings writer and director of all three, and we really got into things like Manly P. Hall and the Dog Star Sirius. And I really just wanted to get your take on this because you've really put together the most illustrations of not only, you know, these monuments and landmarks throughout the world, and especially in the D.C. architecture, but of the actual individuals who are in these quote-unquote secret societies and their hand signals and how they communicate with each other, essentially.
Yeah, you know, what we really have, and it's at first preposterous until you truly study it, we find we're in some, you know, middle layer of some labyrinth or a matrix as such, but there's a hidden world all around us with very, very powerful, deep occult meaning, and it has been built very carefully, practically stone by stone, statue by statue, symbol by symbol, by occultists, members of secret societies, magical believers, basically Satanists, okay? Let's get down to it. Satanists, people who do not think like you and I do, Jason, and we cannot think like they do, and thus it's hard for us to get in their heads. I don't even want to. So sometimes, you know, as the Bible says, by their fruits you shall know them. I know there is an architectural colossus of what I call cosmic dimensions that has grown up throughout this world. It's been being built for over 200 years here in the United States, but now in the last quarter of a century, the building of it has escalated everywhere you go. In a, you know, I talk about Astana, Kazakhstan, and Poland, and all kinds of new places where these satanic structures are going up. And at the same time, what I call in Codex Magica, where I study, you know, the secret signs and the symbols and the hidden codes of the Illuminati, this is a global psychodrama. This is a forever-changing transformation of men's minds in plain sight. And they used every form of media possible, you know, television, the Internet, certainly all of the news, the print and other forms of media, magazines and so forth, movie, Hollywood, even cartoons and games, in order really to create a new way of thinking, you know, as Gorbachev once put it in his book Perestroika, which really is a mesmerizing form of hypnotism, so that we will all, we slaves, then will absolutely love to lick the boots of the masters.
Well, you know, early on you mentioned Satanism, and, you know, like I was discussing earlier in the week, some of these people who are declared, you know, Satan worshipers or into Luciferianism will say, well, you know, we don't really believe that, you know, there is a devil, and really the study of Satanism is just the Enlightenment study of technology, while others will cop to the fact that they do believe that this is an actual, real, physical or metaphysical being.
Well, you know, Anton LaVey and Dr. Michael Aquino, probably the two best-known Satanists in the United States. Anton LaVey in 1966, you know, June 6, 66, he chose that auspicious date, Jason, founded the Church of Satan, which was a 501c3 tax-approved church. At the same time, Dr. Michael Aquino, who was a full colonel in the U.S. Army and who wrote books about the use of psychological warfare and articles that were published in military army journals, okay, highly respected, founded a group called the Temple of Set. Now, also a satanic church. Now, Dr. Aquino was asked about this, and he thought it was almost comical that many people who worship Lucifer or Satan do not really know who they worship. And he says there are many people in the metaphysical world, for example, who don't even really know. They talk about worshiping an energy force. He says, but we who are in the Satanist realm, we have a precise grip on who we worship. So they do know, and many people, of course, they love to debate Christians. I'll remember when I was up in Seattle, Washington, some years ago, and I was debating skeptics as well as witches. And one of the lead witches, head of a big coven there in the Seattle area, this was on King TV. I think it's the NBC or CBS affiliate. But in any case, at a big town meeting, a witch got up and just blasted me. And she said, how dare you accuse us witches of worshiping Satan? I'll have you know we don't even believe in Satan. Satan is a Christian invention. And I came right back at her, and I let her know, informed her that I'd studied witchcraft for many, many years. I received all of their journals, magazines, had read all their books from the top witches around the world. And I said, not only do you worship a goddess, but you worship Pan, the horned god of the forest, in his male or masculine form. I said, do you not? And she came back, and she was almost frightened. She couldn't believe that anybody would even know this. And she says, well, yes, we worship Pan, the horned god, but that's not Satan. So, again, we get into this Orwellian language thing, but this is way beyond technology. This goes into spirituality, and it really is involved in magic, the invocation of demons. For example, much of the architecture is built on the basis of Eastern religions and worship of certain beings. Let me give you one example of that. Architect Louis Kahn is a very famous architect today, and he built the Salk Center. Now we're getting back to the the vaccinations. You mentioned Tamiflu and some of those things people shouldn't take. Well, he designed the Salk Center. Now he is one of these people that I profile in Mysterious Monuments. Now, this is a medical facility near La Jolla, California. They're going to come out with new ways to give us vaccines and so forth. His design is inspired by Lao Tzu's Taoism, that's the yin-yang equilibrium, Tibetan mandalas, the 7 chakras of the Hindus, and when asked about his design, and I have a picture of it in the book, several pictures, of the Salk Center. Khan said it serves the spirit, the divine or sacred nature of the building, he said, can be experienced by people who enter it. He says, in the end, it promotes a life force and spirit so that the spirit of the building takes over. So supposedly you go in this building, and its spirit, it's a living entity. Now, Jason, you and I say, oh, poppycock. Not this. And I do, because these people use, magical geometry, numerology, astrology, and all kinds of nonsensical things. But you see, here's the point about it. These people are billionaires, millionaires. They are the people in charge. They are the ones who constructed Washington, D.C., and they are the ones, when you see the architecture of the Batman movies, of The Dark Knight and others, and you see the architecture of Chicago and New York with all the gargoyles, the demon statues on top of buildings, they're the ones who built these things, and they gave them spiritual meaning and importance. We can laugh about it, but they're in charge.
Exactly. That's the point I often make to people. I'm saying, especially to people who are atheists, I always say to them, you know, because I'm not very religious myself, and I try not to, you know, put it out there, but I say to them, you know, if there really is nothing to religion at all, then how come the elites are so deeply into the occult, and how come they control everything? It seems like, you know, and then you tell them, you know, occult, by its very definition, is just hidden. It's hidden knowledge. So you look at these people and, you know, like that witch talking to you and saying, oh, well, yeah, we worship Pan, but she'll probably make the argument that that's just earth worship or Gaia worship. We don't believe that. But these beings, these entities seem to overlap throughout history.